Right, welcome back. The theme of the year, and I'm talking about the International Mother Language Day. The theme is for 2024 is multilingual education, a pair of learning and intergenerational learning. The theme emphasizes the necessity, yes, the necessity for every year as International Mother Language Day. Now, for the team, this year is multilingual education, a pillar of learning and intergenerational learning. Now, this theme emphasizes the necessity of persevering or, preserving a mother tongue's cultural heritage and traditional knowledge. It also creates awareness of linguistic and cultural diversity and promotes multilingualism. The importance of Mother Language Day cannot be overemphasized. We have in the studio with us Treasure Uchebu, Development Consultant, Disability, Sign Language Inclusion Champion, the convener and the CEO Speaking Finger Network. She will talk to us more about the importance of mother language. A very good morning to you this morning.
Good morning, good morning.
All right, let's get to it almost immediately.
Before we do, let's also acknowledge the fact that Lawale Kundayo is still with us in the studio. And we also have Nick Agule, who is staying with us on this one. Go ahead.
All right, let's get to it almost immediately. How important, and I'm talking to you, Madam Treasurer, how important is this sign language? And of course, this day.
Well, should we be talking about how important? It's obviously very important.
Extremely.
What I would say is, how many of us really, especially in this modern era, we seem to be losing our mother tongue in our bid to sound Western. Now, families, in fact, Lawal is an educator, and growing up, for some of us, our mother tongue was termed vernacular in school. Why? You are also an educator. Why did you guys let that happen?
Okay.
Let me start with you now, Treasure, before I come to Kundayo.
That's an accusation.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So
Because we were asked to pay
Fine.
10
You pay
naira.
500 naira, 10
10
naira for speaking our mother tongue
There is a
because
punishment.
it is called vernacular. Why did you people let that happen?
So I'll allow him as an
All right,
educationist
go
to
ahead.
speak
Go ahead,
because
go
I
ahead.
work more as a development person.
Go ahead.
So let's hear.
Lawal,
Why did we pay
why did
5
you let
naira?
that happen? Why did you make us pay money for speaking our mother tongue?
Actually, the problem is,
Please don't say because it's our lingua franca.
Come on.
I should say it in.
Don't say
Go
because
ahead,
it's
go
our
ahead.
lingua franca.
No, I'm not going to say that.
Okay.
I'm not going to say that. You see, what we don't understand, what we don't know, let me use that, is that these people will say Westerners, they actually take time to study other people's languages. You don't know. If a white man is speaking, there's one in Ife, or you're now, the mother brought the boy as a child to the Alaafin's palace, and he stayed there throughout till the Alaafin died. The boy, when they go to market in Oyo, the boy is there. When they go to market in Oyo,
Yeah, we know
they'll be
he's an
speaking,
internet sensation now.
they will speak. The people, the market women, you know, it will go with some of the servants, the servants of the king to the market. They will say,
Now, the question I'm asking is, why was our
Wait,
mother
I'm
tongue
coming to
termed
that.
vernacular?
I
No, we
want
are
to-
pressed for time, actually.
okay.
Yeah.
So when they speak this language, when they speak Yoruba, they will first of all insult the boy. The boy will now answer them in that same Yoruba. They will now feel shocked. You get? But here we feel inferior on our own part. This thing is already in the constitution. The languages are in the constitution. You get Yoruba, English, whatever. When we were small, you see they say Wazobia. If you
No,
remember
you're
that
not answering the
program.
question, actually.
Okay.
But so,
No, I'm trying to-
let me come to Nick. There's no time. There's no
Okay,
time.
okay.
Let me come to Nick now.
Yes, sir.
Nick, mother tongue. Speaking of the mother tongue, is something that has been gradually suppressed in this part of the world. And what do you think can be done? Because if you ask parents to ensure they speak to their children, first of all, you need to find out if those parents can actually speak. I would have asked everyone in the studio to, you know, say something in their mother tongue.
would do it.
We'll probably do that. Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that before we
Okay.
leave.
Well, what do you think can be done differently now to ensure that our mother tongue, especially as it pertains to the Constitution, is, you know, enhanced and brought to the fore?
You are very correct. Well, if you had given us that test for us to speak our mother tongue, I would have passed excellently well.
We
I
will
can
still
speak
give
my
you the
mother
test
tongue very well, but
by the
Moses,
end of the show.
I cannot write my mother tongue very well, and the reading part of my mother tongue is the one that is a failure. I cannot even attempt to read it. Before I read my mother tongue, I must first practice it before I read it. So it's not good. It's not good that we are losing our mother tongue. What can we do? We need this education has to start at the home. When parents give birth to children, parents need to start communicating with these children in the mother tongue from day one. Let the home be where we teach the mother tongue, and then let the schools be where we teach English. I think if there is this division of labor like this, then the children are going to come up knowing both their mother tongue and knowing the English, which is our official language. And I'm a culprit here. So I hope my example is what parents are going to learn. My wife and I were of the same language, you know, we're Tiv. So we speak Tiv. I don't speak.
All right, we seem to have a glitch in the network there, unfortunately.
To you, Mom. Okay, you know, when you enter the studio, so lively. I actually enjoyed it. Now, what I want to ask is, when Moses asked earlier, why did you people let us be punished in school? None of you actually intend to give us, Mr.
I have
Lawal,
an
not give us
answer.
an answer to that. But now what I want to ask you is, what really changed? Because it's more like now everyone or the world is beginning to call back for the mother language to be celebrated. You know, according to the history, people started that it was started in 1999. What's happened? What led to this? What led to the call, the clamor for mother tongue?
So the clamor for mother tongue, I would say, we are developmental in nature. Development is happening. And there are people, advocates like you media persons as is putting today out there, you find out that somebody will just come up with an awareness. But interestingly, the UN has a decade of international indigenous languages all going from 2022. So awareness is coming up, more people are talking about it, and more people are gaining insight and seeing that our mother tongue shouldn't be extinct, to the point where we are saying multilingual education is key in ensuring that we have an intergenerational learning that keeps on going. So with mother tongue, I could pass on, or our elders could pass on the traditions of our people,
history,
and the history of our communal living, and it actually takes a multi-sectoral approach.
Now, talking about multilingual, we also do know that there's a certain population who do not even have a language.
Okay, how do you mean?
Is it possible?
Now, those that cannot speak.
Okay.
Now, you cannot ask them to speak a mother tongue when they cannot even speak due to defects, medical defects, health defects, the deaf and dumb, and the rest of them, challenged individuals.
Thank you, Mr. Moses. So, the word dumb is actually one of those derogatory terms that is not
Thank
used.
you for that.
And the beauty is that deaf covers is fine.
Oh, okay.
So I know you. So the beauty of it, that is why we have the International Day for Sign Languages in September 23rd, because that awareness also came into force in 2018, which is the very first time it was commemorated. So what it means, does it mean that a deaf person existed in 2018? Conversations like what we have here today has been ongoing. So sign language could also be a mother tongue for that deaf child. And with it, he or she can be educated in sign language. It's the same WAEC, the same exams they write, WAEC for Nigeria, international exams. They could actually sit here and hold. At our camp recently, we had a media which sent me into a media training.
You have a camp?
Yes, we have an annual camp that is run for deaf adolescents, their friends and family every year.
Okay.
Summer camp actually is always a look forward to. And with the summer camp, what happened last year was that we set up a media. I brought somebody in the media, come and teach them how to do reportage. So suddenly, like the glitch we just had now, voice was challenged on the Zoom call because we have an award night where the parents sign in and see them on camp. So there was no voice. But the deaf young people that joined online, we are enjoying the show because everything was in sign language. And that was an eureka moment for us in camp. Can we have them do a production for themselves by themselves?
Okay.
So you can imagine this whole setting, discussing International Day of Mother Tongue in sign language by deaf young people to also their deaf audience. So what happens? They will enjoy it. So content can be created for them to also have discussions like this. So they have a language, and that language is sign.
All right.
Sign language.
I was going to come to you, Mr. Lawal. It is clear at this point that every 2 weeks, according to the records, every 2 weeks, a language disappears. 45% of the world's language is endangered as a result of
Every 2 weeks.
all of this.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, how do we manage this situation so that we do not have our languages go extinct, even in both our political space and our educational space?
Two things. One, see your language or languages as equally important. Because some people feel inferior about their language.
Can this be inculcated into the educational
It's
system?
already there. That's what I was saying. But when you see in school, when you after learning Yoruba language or Igbo language in the class, when you come out and you speak it, you see even the principal cautioning you, stop speaking that. You get. In fact, I had an issue with the principal that I thought I was a teacher under.
Okay.
I said, if you don't want them to speak, why are you teaching them? You face it out then. It was a serious issue between the two of us. If you are teaching, that means it's equally important. So they must
how can we
it.
manage this and not make it an issue,
One,
just like
see,
you just pointed out?
make it important. Let the people, the educators, see it as equally. China is doing it. You know, China is sending its own people down to Africa to teach them Chinese language. And at the end of it, they will do a competition and they get award. China, I was involved in it, not something they told me.
If we still have, sorry.
Then the last one I want to say is that let it be internationally, you get it, recognized, each language.
I have something to say.
Go ahead.
We are in one state that is very epic, Lagos State. Today is Wednesday.
Yeah.
So in all our public schools, if the assembly is held in Yoruba language. Wednesday is usually a day of languages. The national anthem is signed because we have the sign language version of our national anthem.
Okay.
So the national anthem is sung in Yoruba. The assembly is conducted in Yoruba. So such gesture can be emulated in other or replicated in other states, in other communities. So if you go to a public school on assembly ground this morning, you hear it in Yoruba.
Some of them even went
in Lagos.
wearing a tampatu.
Yes,
They don't
last
wear
week
uniform on
we had
Wednesdays.
a native.
You know, it just struck me when you say if we go to public school. In other words, the private schools don't do that.
No, because they
Which
may not
is-
have an awareness. That's why I'm saying that
You think so?
what is happening here is beautiful. They may not even know that that can be done because they find ways to do French Day. They do, and there's something schools do which they are not aware of, and Culture Day.
Yeah.
So Culture Day is speaking to the International Day of Mother Tongue. Last week a school was having Culture Day. and it's a private school. They didn't know anything about International Day of Mother Tongue. So I told them, all this wear your cultural dress from home and come to school. The students were dressed in their rep your culture. I attended the party over the weekend and it was rep your culture, so I had my Ibibio look and feel.
Okay, let me come to Nick now as we also make to wrap up. I do believe we still have Nick Agule online with us. Okay, now Nick, I perceive that we have a bit of a challenge. Sometimes when I see Nigeria at the international scene, talking to like the president of Nigeria, for example, you hear other presidents address the international community in their indigenous language, but you hear the representative from Nigeria speaking in English, even though we do know that some of it is influenced by, dialectal influences, which can make it somewhat difficult for whoever they're speaking to actually pick what you're saying. And I know we've also had this argument or this conversation as to the National Assembly conducting its activities in an indigenous language. Now, which would it be really? Seeing that we in the National Assembly, I'm not talking about state assemblies now, the National Assembly, we have a diverse, coming together of different Nigerians from different parts of the country. In fact, in Nigeria, I do understand that we have over 300 dialects, 300 languages in Nigeria, which is a bit confusing, isn't it?
Yes, so you have described the problem accurately. With 300 different languages in Nigeria, we cannot all speak one language, except we develop that language. If Nigeria develops a common language that all of us can speak, then it's possible. But without first developing that language, if the National Assembly, for instance, wants to conduct debate in our own vernacular, in our native languages, the National Assembly members are not going to hear each other, because if someone from a Tiv man speaks, there's no way an Hausa man or a Yoruba man is going to hear that, and vice versa. And the same way, our president cannot conduct business in the international circles or even locally here in any of the local languages. The countries where their presidents speak in their native language, if you observe, these are countries that all of them speak the same language. Yeah, because if you go to Germany, everybody speaks German. They are all Germans. If you go to Spain, they are all Spanish. They don't have any other language. So they can conduct their business in Spanish, and the president can speak in Spanish at any forum, be local, international, and his people will hear him. But we don't have that luxury. So we are like the United States. United States has as many indigenous people and also those who are migrated there, and they have as many languages as we have. And you cannot hear the American president speaking any other language except English at any forum. So it depends. Do we want to build a language, a common language?
How about we adopt Pidgin English as our language? Pidgin English, because that's our own form. After all, the US adopted proper English, the British English, and they speak it their own way, with their own, inflections and all of that. The kind of English they speak in America is different from the English that they speak in Britain. So why don't we adopt Pidgin English?
If you tell me, I go say not be bad idea at all.
Not be bad idea.
I enjoy Pidgin. I really enjoy. You understand? If I dey yarn Pidgin, because I say I dey worry before, so I dey use worry too. So if na that one we want do, then make we do am. It go dey good. It will be a complete international export of
Talking
Nigerian
about Talking
All
about
right
getting the
then.
language, Ma, please, do you think it's going to be attainable for us to? Because people are clamoring, saying, well, let's just go for Swahili to be what to guide the whole of Africa. Yeah, they were saying something like that. Let's go for Swahili. Because you know,
Are you joking right
even
now?
some people in India actually take people who speak Swahili into Bollywood. They were like, let's go for Swahili.
Are you really
The clicking of the
joking right
tongue
now?
thing. I
Are
love
you for
languages.
real?
To be what Africans will use, since we don't have,
No, we should actually do it.
All right. Well, we have to. So
you should do it, baby.
some of us have, we are a combination of two. So I'll say, I'll just pick one. I'll pick one. I'll say, I think you should go first. I must say thank you very much to Nick Agule, emailer. Thank you for coming on the program. Chuku Goziegi. All right. Have a beautiful day.
Okay.
Afambo Moses. Yeah. So, a big thanks also to Lawa Lekodayo Oshegon Adupekwe Ewaleni.
Arriba.
ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé èdè wa àti àṣà wa lárugẹ.
So já gbé èdè wa lárugẹ. Ṣégan.
So thank you
Yeah?
for having me
Okay.
and for us, and today for celebrating mother tongue. So we are happy to be here. So this is I love you in sign language. So this is a short form of saying letter I for I,
Okay.
L for love, and for you as in Y O.
I still remember.
Okay, so
You remember this one?
Yes, I do.
So this is I love you.
Oh wow.
So I love you.
Oh, wow.
So you can
Once again,
thank you.
I learned
Good
this one this morning. I learned this one
So
this morning.
thank you is so thank you,
Thank you,
and I'm
thank
sure
you.
you learned welcome. So can we all do welcome?
Welcome. All right then. Well, big thanks to Treasure.
Treasures.
Treasures. Uchebu,
Many.
the coordinator of Speaking Fingers. All right, thank you very much for coming on the program. Big thanks once again to Nick Agule and Lawale Kundayo. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll be delving into business.
Make sure to look around for the right company to serve you everything you need to know about what's happening around you. That's why you need VOP this morning, because we will climb this far to give you a voice in what's going on, from news, reviews, politics and the economy, sports, and even entertainment. Join us weekdays